Welcome to Choosing to be Chosen, the podcast. Today I am here with Moshe Katyal. How are you?
Thank God, I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for doing this. We were just talking about technology, AI. You're in the AI space in the Bay Area. Right. It's truly fascinating.
Yeah, a lot's changing. The world is changing dramatically.
Very fast. And I know you from synagogue. You always get up and make beautiful speeches on Shabbat. And I know you mentioned that you're a convert.
Yes.
So first of all, where did you grow up?
Still growing up, but I was born in India. Mm-hmm. And I moved here in 1991.
Okay.
So I guess 1819.
Okay.
And then I moved to the United States, all over the United States.
And why did you move here?
Because it was America. And it was the land of opportunity, so I was very excited and I wanted to leave. And my father got a green card, and he wasn't very keen. I'm coming here. He was a scientist or whatever, so he got a green card, but I took the opportunity and I could come because we have family and all that. Mm-hmm. So he went back, but I stayed. Yeah.
And growing up in India, what's it like?
So I guess there's like multiple dimensions, because we lived in a bubble in India. My parents were refugees from Kashmir and Pakistan. So we're not really local. So we grew up in this part of southern India where we didn't speak the local language. We lived in our own little bubble. And I went to a Catholic school, and we spoke only English, and we watched English movies, and we hung out with people. So it was a very different world altogether. But so it's like living in a bubble, mm-hmm. but no God, none of that stuff. It was very secular.
And what did their families have religions that they became secular after?
No.
Okay.
No, it was just generational. I guess my grandparents, they spoke a little bit about it, but yeah, it was like almost like being a Reformed Jew. I don't want to be a pejorative, but essentially it's like there is some aspect that this is what you are. You don't know much about it, and nobody really talks about it, but nobody criticizes it. It's just something.
So did they come from Hindu or Muslim or?
Hindu.
Okay.
Yeah, both of them.
I only know things from Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah.
Or Darjeeling Limited. That's probably my...
Oh, that was a good movie.
That was a great movie. I love Indian food. Is Southern Indian the one that's spicier?
So this was actually Bombay. So I guess it's middle.
And it's like vegetarian? I know there's some...
Not my family, no. We were not vegetarian at all.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of chicken. But occasionally beef, but it was very rare.
I know before I kept kosher and was on this journey, my husband would take me to Glasgow, Scotland, to the restaurant where they invented chicken tikka masala.
Oh, wow. I love chicken tikka masala.
And so he knows everything, like Peshwari naan, gulab jamun.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best food. They have kosher Indian in New York, and they had it here for a little bit, and then it stopped.
Oh yeah, kosher bites or something.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
I'm waiting for the day it comes back. I absolutely love it. So you went to a Catholic school. Mm-hmm. So what did they teach you there?
So it was a great school. It was very, very strict. And then they did. I was in my own little world, but they did have something about religion, moral science, and then there was a lot of Catholicism. So we grew up. My sister and I grew up knowing a lot more about Christianity than Hinduism. Mm-hmm. So because they did try to proselytize and all that stuff, but we didn't really care. But yeah, so we learned all the prayers, and I was in the Christmas whatever shows, and I knew all the songs and Silent Night and all that stuff. We used to act in it. So yeah, it was just part of our culture.
You probably sang a lot of songs by Jewish songwriters, like Irving Berlin.
Oh, that's true.
Were there any aspects of it that you enjoyed?
No. It was pretty... I didn't like it at all because I didn't fit the mold. They needed somebody who just, studied really hard and, just followed all the rules and all that stuff. And I was just clueless, and I didn't fit the mold. You
didn't want to follow the rules?
No, it's I'm not a rebel or anything. It's just I didn't care. about certain things that they really cared about. So I'd be puzzled, like, why are you punishing me because I didn't get a haircut? Like, well, what difference does it make? But it was not like I'm not rebellious or any of that stuff. It's just, there were too many rules. It was too frustrating, and they took the joy out of learning, and it was not. Yeah, so I'm glad I left.
Your teachers were nuns?
For the mixture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how many Catholics are in India?
I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe 5%. Yeah, I think 5%, 10%. I mean, there were a decent amount where we were, but not that many.
And growing up, how many languages did you know?
I always ask that, but it's strange. But I only spoke English because I was pig-headed, and I was like, "That's it. That's all I want to speak, and that's all I care." And we did learn 2 other languages, Hindi and Marathi, but my parents didn't speak it, so I didn't really pay attention, and I didn't do well in school and all that stuff. And it started, so 5th grade to 10th grade, we had the Indian languages, but we grew up till 5th grade, whatever, was only English.
And what did your parents do for work?
So my father was a scientist, some sort of material science. They both passed away a while ago, but yeah, my father was a scientist, and my mom was a serial entrepreneur. She would start something, fail, try something else, and yeah.
What was her greatest thing that she did? Like, what did you like the most?
So it's kind of a sad story, but she started a business with a friend of hers, and they did very well. After I left for the United States, they did extremely well. A land business or whatever. And then they were doing very well. They were way too well, I guess. So I'd go back and we go like, "Oh wow, you have a plane?" Or like, "What's going on?" And then came the crash, because the guy she had done business with was a con man. So he stole all the money, committed suicide, and then she had a rough time. But yeah.
But she got a private plane?
Yeah, but then it was all gone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is a private plane less than it is here?
I don't know. It's one of those Cessna, whatever, planes. I have no idea how much.
Did you travel the world at all when you were younger?
So I left, and then I was pretty much on my own since then. I supported myself, etc. So whatever, Taco Bell and all those places. So I didn't travel that much, but I did go to France on a student exchange. So for a couple of months. And then I went to Italy with Ilana. Yeah.
And when you were 18, is that when did you go to college here?
So I came and I worked at Taco Bell, I think, for about 6 months. And then I went to school. Yeah.
Which school did you go to?
I started at Bowling Green State University, Ohio, in the middle of nowhere.
Was that a huge culture shock?
It was massive. Yeah. Yeah.
What was India like compared to what Ohio was like?
So I guess I grew up as a spoiled rich kid. Not very rich, middle class, but well-off with servants and all. Went from that to, okay, if you want to eat, you go grocery shopping. But if you want to buy groceries, you have to work. If you work, the only skill you have is working in a fast food place, which means you go clean toilets, you go do whatever, all that thing. So that was the huge shock. And then Bowling Green, Ohio is just tiny, just middle of nowhere. Very, very different than what I expected, because I wanted the glamour of America. But people were extremely, extremely nice and very helpful. And because I was very naive, and still am in many ways, I just don't know things. And people helped me out a lot. So yeah, it was a nice time. Something I really, yeah.
Can you recall any funny things that happened? Like you misinterpreted something?
Yeah, because I remember, I think it was my first week I started working at Taco Bell. And I'd never even, handled cash or anything. And for whatever reason, they put me at the front register. And I'd never eaten at Taco Bell. Or I'd eaten at Taco Bell, but I had no idea. So people ordering these things like jalapenos. So I'm looking for something with an H on the cash register. And everybody's drunk. And it's like 2:00 in the morning. They want their food. And I'm the one on the desk. It was funny. It was just, yeah.
Did you have jalapenos in India?
I never heard of jalapenos. Like, what's that?
It's funny. Whenever people I know go to India, they get sick on the food. But you probably got sick on the food in America because Taco Bell makes you sick, right?
I ate there every day for many years.
You must have a stomach made of steel.
I loved it. I do have a stomach made of steel, but I love that food.
What was your favorite item on the menu?
It used to be Burrito Supreme. Yeah.
I like the chalupa.
Not kosher at all.
No. The chalupa, that's like the deep, or the gordita.
Oh, they didn't have that when I worked.
Yeah, I think that was late 90s era.
Okay, this was early 90s.
Yeah. And then did you choose Bowling Green to go for a reason?
Yeah, because I needed somebody to pick me up from the airport. And my father had a friend who would pick me up from the airport. And I was like, okay, I'll go there.
You'll just go to school there?
No, I just go there and we figured out school. And he was a professor, so I figured this also a school. So
okay, that's great.
Yeah, there's not much planning.
Were there other Indians in the city?
He was Indian. He was a friend of my father, son of my father's friend from something, whatever. But there were a few, not many.
Was that difficult at all?
People were so nice that there was not an issue. I mean, I fit right in.
Nice. And then what did you major in?
So majoring too. I was like, oh, I should go study business because my parents are that way. And then somebody was like, no, go study computers. So I was like, sure, why not? And so I went and studied computer science and math. Yeah. Had
you been interested in those beforehand?
Always in math. Always. That's the only subject I studied. I didn't study anything else. Mm-hmm. And computers, I was very interested in computers. So.
This whole time, did you believe in God?
Not particularly, no. It's not something thought about. In college, I became a rabid atheist and very left-wing. I don't know what you call it, left-wing, ACLU sort of person, atheist, and became very radical.
That's what happens at colleges, as we've seen. Were you protesting?
I was too busy working to protest, but if I had the time, I would have, I guess.
Yeah. And then you graduate college, and then what?
Yes, I did actually a bunch of internships when I was in school as well. So I worked in Akron, Ohio for a couple of summers, raised a lot of money that way. That was really good because I had to pay for school. Goodyear tires. And then after that, I switched jobs a lot, but I went to Michigan, and then from Michigan to Columbus, and then Kansas, and then Austin, and
Just working different jobs?
Right.
And what kind of jobs were those?
So a lot of, first computers. It's all in computers. And then finally in Austin in a startup.
And around this time, what was going on in computers?
.com.
The bubble as it was bursting, or? So
I was riding the bubble. So I worked at Sprint PCS, which was building the internet. So there was a lot of money and people were doing very well. Then I moved to a startup in Austin because it was just too cold and miserable in Kansas. I hated Kansas. Nothing against Kansas. It didn't work for me. So I moved to Austin, Texas, and I worked with Ilana. That's where I met my wife. And I was working in a startup when I met her at that time.
Is India very hot?
Where I grew up, it wasn't that hot, but we used to go to places which were very hot.
Mm-hmm. Do you miss anything about it?
So when I was a kid, my uncles used to take me on wildlife safaris. So that was fun. Yeah.
In India?
Yeah.
I didn't know they had it. I thought that was just like South Africa.
Maybe safari is the wrong word, but we used to go and take into the jungles and you see tigers and you can hear them.
That wasn't scary.
It was fun. When I was a kid, it was a lot of fun. We used to go hiking a lot.
Life of Pi is the third Indian movie I saw.
Wow.
When you said tigers, I'm like, there's another one. I think it might have been the same guy from Slumdog, actually. Like one hot actor for a while. That's amazing. And what other animals are there?
So there are tons of elephants and wild boar and lots of snakes, king cobras, all kinds of gators. Yeah.
Amazing. And you said you met your wife when you were working in Austin. Was that at Sprint PCS?
No, actually. So mall.com it was this the height of the bubble, the word there's no substance in this company, and I invested all my money in it. I invested a lot of time in it, but I met my wife there. So yeah.
Mall.com?
Yeah, it was just
like the virtual mall.
I don't know what the idea is. It's a joke. So the idea was that you'd go to the mall.com in order to go to another shopping center. So you'd go there and then you click on Sears. Yeah, I don't know.
Like Claire's. And
yeah,
like,
it was actually a physical mall. Yeah, it didn't make sense.
What did you work on with that? Just coding it, or
yeah,
yeah.
And then most of the time, like daydreaming over how we're going to make so much money.
Yeah,
because everybody was.
Yeah. Okay. And what was she doing there?
So she was doing the analytics. So she joined right out of school from UT Austin.
Okay.
So she was doing some analytics stuff there.
Okay. And then what was that like? What was your love story?
Yeah. So I fell in love with her the moment I saw her.
Aww.
And I was like, I want to marry her. That was right away. I had that feeling. And then she was like, oh, you're not, a month or so later, she's like, oh, you're not Jewish, so this is not going to work out at all. It's like, what difference does it make? She was like, no, I want somebody, I distinctly remember this. I want a husband who comes home on Shabbos, Shabbat, she said, and blesses the kids. That was really important to her. And she didn't grow up religious at all. Her parents, they're not anti-religious. They're divorced, but they're not anti-religious, but she didn't really grow up. And she went to Solomon and Schechter, so she knew a little bit, but they never celebrated Shabbos. And I was like, well, that's weird. Like, this is strange. Why would anybody want to believe in God? Okay, but I want to marry you. This is important to you. Sure, I'll become Jewish.
After a month, you wanted to marry her?
Yeah, a month or 3 months, whatever. This is a very short time.
Well, you always said you went after what you wanted and didn't want to do anything else. So, wow, that's amazing. And so how did your conversion journey start?
So she said, you have to convert. I was like, sure, sign me up, whatever.
Had you met Jews, by the way? Or knew anything about it?
I didn't know anything about it.
Wow.
I mean, everybody knows about Israel and all that stuff. And I was like, whatever. Something about a Holocaust, even that was not something I don't think I even thought about at all. It was not something, and it was like, okay, sure, sign up, because what difference does it make? It's just a checkbox, because I'm an American citizen now. It was something else earlier, and now I'm an American citizen. Okay, now I'm Jewish, so what? What do we eat? Like, what difference does it make? And so we did a conversion, so to speak, and it was not the real conversion. I'm not going to go into the details of the person, because I respect the person who did it. It wasn't the right thing, but the person did it and probably did me a favor, I guess, because if I tried to convert Orthodox at that time, it would just not have happened. So I got into it, and then we got married. And then I went to a shul, a Chabad shul. There are 9 people. I remember walking in, and the child said, oh, great, now we have 10. The Rebbitzin said, no, we don't. And I asked her, like, straight out, what do you mean, no, we're 10. I'm here. She said, no, not yet. You're not yet. Not yet. You don't count yet.
That's hard to hear.
No, actually, that was really, I was like, wow, that's really interesting.
Okay, but she knew you. She knew your story. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
And was that in Texas?
Yeah, in Austin.
Oh, wow. And there's like, I've probably been to that Chabad, because there's not many Jews there, especially not many Orthodox Jews. There's
many Jews, but very few Orthodox.
Yeah, there's, maybe one modern Orthodox synagogue, and then a Chabad, right, and then maybe some Reform ones.
Right.
And that's it. Wow. So then did you go through Chabad, or like, how did you decide to do your next one?
Oh, so that was 14 years later, I actually finished the other one.
Wow.
Yeah. So the Chabad one was, okay, I'm not Jewish and all that stuff. It's very interesting. I need to learn more. I still didn't connect with it. Then we had Hannah, my daughter, and then she really got into it because she went to Chabad school. And I got interested because of her. So she dragged me in, so to speak. So intellectually, like, what is Judaism and all that stuff, davening, reading the Torah and all that, I started learning more. But then because Judaism's all about actions, so the observance. So she said, okay, let's light candles. Sure. Oh, why are you watching TV? Okay, fine, I'll stop watching TV on Friday. Oh, why are we driving? These things step by step. And the next thing we're nearly Shomer Shabbos, not eating out. This was now in Seattle. Actually, we moved to Seattle from Austin. Then I got, it was through learning. I opened the Siddur and just read like a textbook. And was like, okay, this is interesting. Let me analyze it, understand it. And then it started clicking and it made sense. And then, many years. So we had several false starts, where I wanted to go really full-blown convert. And then Ilana was like, no, this is too much for me. My kids are Jewish. What difference does it make? She's very into it, but she was like, I don't want to be Orthodox. I'll go to a shul, but I don't want to drive there and all that stuff. Then slowly both of us changed. And
Was there something that made you change, or just like you wanted, like, why did you decide to go all the way then?
Yeah, so my parents passed away right one after the other, 3 months, within a gap of 3 months, when Hannah was born. She's 20 now. And, that was a massive shock. And my mom also went through that. It's because the business she started, the disastrous ending that pretty much killed her. Then my father couldn't take it. So there was a lot of pain. And at that time, I actually turned to God. And so it's essentially, I wanted to build a closer relationship with God. And I was looking for ways. And we tried as whatever conservative, whatever we were, Jews, and it had no meaning to me. So it was like you go for a Shabbos and it's like a political speech. I don't care about politics. I'm not here. Whatever your politics, I don't care. I'm here to connect to God, not to listen to politics. Or it felt like a country club, like you're just schmoozing. So it felt very superficial. So I said, I'm not going to do any of this. I'm not going to be Jewish at all because this is ridiculous. This is meaningless. What is Pesach? We're just sitting and talking. Like, why are we doing this? You're not connecting the dots for me. So I got really angry. But then I was searching, and I don't know, I came across some rabbis who were who were as intense as I am intellectually, and they got me a lot of books, and I did a lot of reading, and I found tremendous amount of meaning.
Have you done the Talmud?
No.
You seem like a really good candidate if you're intellectual, analyzing.
No. Just Hasidus, as you know, but that's it.
Yeah.
But like Aryeh Kaplan, for example, was a book that I read, which was really good. It's like the handbook of Judaism, step by step. This is step one, what we believe. Step two, and if you believe in these two things, then this is what you must believe. So it builds up like axiomatic, like Euclid.
Is there one thing that made you become a believer, or was it just a series of things?
Yeah, it's so strange. It's like, because I'm such a different person now that I have to now unwind and try to think what brought me here. And it's really hard because to me right now, like as a Jew, when you tie your shoelaces, you're thinking, oh, it's not just halakha, but this is what God expects from me. So because God is tied to everything we do now as Jews. So to think about, there was a time when this was not the case, and what brought you here. So yes, pain brought me to trying to seek God. Then my daughter's love for Judaism, and she really loved it, and she really cherished it. And talking to her and explaining things to her made me learn more. And I started finding meaning in the mitzvahs. Because I said, right, why are we eating all this stuff? It doesn't make sense. And then when I started reading things like Rabbi Hirsch, and you start studying about, Korev, I read all these books, more modern Orthodox. I was like, wow, this is really intellectually stimulating. But and then, for some reason, davening never clicked. Then it clicked. All of a sudden, when I started reading things like Elokai Neshama, where the soul you place within me is pure, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so fortunate to say this prayer in the morning, because it's not superficial, right? That a checklist. This is like you're just so meaningful and so moving.
Why do you like that prayer in particular?
Because that's a good point. It's because every day is a new day. So no matter what you've done in the past, you always have the opportunity to get higher and higher.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite ritual?
This is macabre, but I must say it. I saw my mom die of colon cancer. That's not pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go to the restroom, and the prayer that I say it only in English. I don't say it in Hebrew,
mm-hmm.
because I think about her and the pain she went through, and hope she's doing well. And I thank God that everything functions.
Wow. And there's so many moving parts to our lives that we don't think about, and just how one moment can change everything.
Right.
I think about that all the time. And Judaism really makes you, like the davening really makes you think about all these things in your life, and how it's all so precious, and it's kind of being held on by a thread, and God is like holding the thread,
Right.
It's so interesting. And also the morning prayers teach you gratitude, because like I used to be depressed, and I'd wake up and say, what's my life? And I have nothing. And when you start saying that prayer, you say, well, yesterday was bad, things are bad right now, but at least I'm alive. There's a chance to change things. And gratitude is just an amazing thing. It really changes your life. Right.
Yeah. I mean, anxiety and depression. Yeah. I went through that aspect as well.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle with that too, because intellectually I got the idea that, you're supposed to believe in. So this is the Hasidus part, why Hasidus actually makes a lot of sense to me. So when I first came to Hasidus, I was like, what is this? Like, I need to see citations. I need to see mathematical proofs. I need to see structure. But you're talking about, there's a soul within you, and there's a animal, and there's this doesn't make sense. And then you just sit back and you absorb the knowledge, and then you start seeing it in yourself. And that's where oh, okay, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling depressed. What is it? Oh, it's the animals. It's the conflict between the animal soul and the godly soul. And the godly soul is being suppressed. It's not doing the things it needs to do because the animal soul thinks it's in control. It's like, okay, you can analyze yourself, and then you go, aha, all right, now let me guide myself.
Yeah.
So, it gives you so much.
Yeah, I love that. And how old was your daughter when she came home and was so enthusiastic? Was it just from preschool, or?
It was preschool.
Wow.
Yeah, she says that it's also because I used to read her Hasidic, these stories.
Mm-hmm.
Of these rabbis, those the fancy stories, like in Europe, there's
always an inn. There's always an inn.
yeah, there's always an inn.
Eliyahu Hanavi is at the inn, and they can't afford the inn, but then they can't afford the inn.
Right,
it's just hilarious. And what's the one? What are the Russian landowners? The Porets.
Yes,
the Porets and the inn and the everything.
Right, exactly.
You sleep in the forest, and there's wolves, and my husband does comic books, and he was working on one about Lubavitch, and it just sounded like utopia. Wow. I'd never thought of it that way, because Crown Heights is not utopia, but Lubavitch was just like a forest and beautiful, and it sounded amazing.
Right.
So what brought your wife back? Was there anything that happened to her in particular, or just following you?
So my wife is a powerful person. She is, I guess the reason I fell in love with my wife is because women in my family have always been these powerhouses. My mom, my grandma, they're tough women. My wife is just like that. She's incredibly tough, very driven, and just a very sweet and kind person, but extremely Russian, very tough. So she would be grumpy. I was like, "Ugh, what is this? I have to keep kosher." And now you go to the kitchen, you do anything, she'd smack me. Like, not smack me, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
She'd like, "What are you doing? This is blah plates, and these are blah plates, and you can mix it up." So, to her, it was always very important that her kids be Jewish. And then she, I think, recognized the fact that if you want kids to be observant, if you want your kids to be good kids, then you have to have structure in the house. And Judaism gives that structure.
And she's from Russian immigrants?
Her father's Russian and her mom, I think, is Lithuanian.
Wow.
But her mom was born here, so she's second generation.
So you're Ashkenazi now.
I converted Ashkenazi. Yeah, I never been to a Sephardic shul, so I had no idea.
Even in Seattle? There's two huge, aren't there one or two huge?
Right.
Yeah.
But we went to Shevadakim, which is on Mercer Island.
Oh, with the conservative commentator.
Medved.
Medved.
Yeah, Michael Medved. Yeah, he's a nice person, very nice person.
Yes, I know him from, he was at Shul on the Beach here in Venice for a long time.
Oh, wow.
Everyone in the Jewish world is just, and then Nissim Black also became,
yes,
he was Muslim, then Christian, then a Messiah Jew, and then a Jew.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Did you convert in Seattle?
No, I moved to Palo Alto. So I was starting the conversion process in Seattle, but then the startup I worked at got acquired by Google. They forced us to move. They said, "You have to move. You don't have a choice," to Palo Alto. So I found a shul there, and then I converted the RCC in LA, but my rabbi the shul I went to was in Palo Alto, Emek Bracha.
My second conversion was also RCC. The gold standard.
Yeah.
You accepted in Israel. I wanted to go back to Hindu because in Judaism, that's a similarity with Hindu. We also believe in recycled souls.
Oh, really? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we were there during the giving Matan Torah.
Yeah, but most of us, I learned, are recycled. Only like the Tzaddikim are not, the righteous people.
Right.
And I definitely see that, like, when you're talking about your daughter, I'm like, she was probably a righteous woman, in the past. And, with my kids, I see certain, like, my oldest daughter is very spiritual. And then we named our second daughter after my husband's grandma, and they have a very similar personality. So I just think that's really cool. And then I was reading on Yom Kippur, I'm sure it's a metaphor because I know with Hindu from The Simpsons, Apu's like, first I was this, and then I was this, and I was a snake, and then I was this, and then I'm Apu. And Apu is like the lowest thing you could be.
Really?
Yeah, it was funny. But I was reading in the Siddur on Yom Kippur that like you could come back as a rock, and I was like, wait, so I really have to investigate this, but I'm sure it's a metaphor. I've never heard that. I've only heard that you can come back as people or a dibuk. Like a demon or
right.
Yeah, so it's fascinating, and that stuff's above my head, like Kabbalah. I don't even try.
If you have a good teacher, Rabbi Newman's pretty good. So
what was that?
Rabbi Newman's really good, and Hasidus.
Yeah.
So
yeah. What do you love about Hasidus? Just that's more soulful, and
so to me, it's almost like physics. I mean, that's the strangest thing because Hasidus is so abstract and all, but to me it's more like physics because it explains the structure, the anatomy of the soul, the structure of the universe, how things are connected. You have this neshama within you that's connected to God, and how it's connected to God to the chariot and all that, and therefore you have these are the properties of the godly soul, and these are the properties of the animal soul. And then you start seeing it, and when you read secular books like psychology, what is it? The Fear of Death. No, Death, Dead, and Dying, or something that's like this Nobel Prize winner by a Jewish guy. And you read that secular book, and he talks about things that they've seen in psychology. You're like, hang on, in Hasidus, these concepts exist, and they're fleshed out far more. They're just given these names, and they perhaps turn them off because it's wholly secular, don't want to believe in God and all that stuff. But these concepts exist. The conflict between us, there's this animal which is, so we talk about animal and lusts and all that stuff, but the more interesting day-to-day thing is the animal is this fearful, anxious thing, which is always worried that you're going to starve, or you're going to have something bad's going to happen, or I need to do this, or I need to hurt somebody, or I need to grab this money, or I need to work hard, because what if? Because the animal is very rooted in what it can see and work and perceive. And it does not allow the holy part, which is the connected to God, which is the spiritual, which is, hang on. The meals that you got, for the last K years have not been through your hands. Many things have been, it's in my case, my life, it's been a lot of providence, like getting a green card, coming to the United States, going to school, then going to UT Austin, meeting my wife there, all that stuff was all providence, divine providence. So why is it that you're worrying? And to understand this concept of the conflict and why you feel a certain way, so you can talk to yourself and you can analyze yourself. And then Hasidus does far more, the Alter Rebbe, where he says, when you daven, how do you use the davening to have this communication within yourself?
Mm-hmm.
So it's very structured and logical, actually.
Yeah. I mean, we overanalyze the Torah. Overanalyze. Like,
yeah,
it's incredible. I don't know. I'm not familiar with other religions if they just study the same thing over and over and over again. And then we also have these different opinions. And yeah, right. I can't even get into Talmud. It's so funny. I'm on social media a lot on X. And these people are like, I studied the Talmud and it says this. I'm like, you didn't study the Talmud. It takes 7 years. Why did you why did you pick the name Moshe as your Hebrew name?
Because during the conversion process, when you study a lot, and we study it's almost you build up an affinity for the characters. So I built up Moshe was a great man. I'm not at all. So I'm reluctant to say it, but roughly I aspire to be like him in his attributes, because there's the intellectual aspect, because he analyzed and understood and knew the Torah, but was also very limited because he could not speak, but he came over those limitations. And it's a very interesting story.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like that way. And David, I wish I could have taken the middle name of David, but yeah.
Did you take a middle name?
Not yet.
Okay. And was it what you expected? Like when you went in the mikvah, did you come out feeling anything, or was it just, what was it like?
No, actually, the conversion was a challenging aspect, and I don't like to be told what to do. And you go through conversion, and I mean, clearly, because you've been told by a bunch of people, this is how you live your life. The main aspect, for example, was schooling. I was adamant. I wanted my daughter, because I've always studied a lot, and I went to UT Austin and all that stuff, and I wanted my daughter to follow my steps and get a PhD or something. I dropped out of PhD, but I wanted her to finish off the PhD. So I looked at the schools in Palo Alto. I was like, here are the world's best schools. They're secular. So what? There's a Jewish school. In my opinion, it's not that great, because I was just looking at math and science. So I told the rabbis, I'm going to convert, but I'm not going to send my kids to Jewish school. So that was a big conflict.
I had to sign a document saying I would.
Wow.
And I was okay with that. Aside from how much it costs, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So how did you reconcile that?
So I was very clear about it, and they were like, okay, fine, convert.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, you know what, you're actually right. Okay, fine. I do want to send my daughter to a Jewish school because it's a midos. I want her to have certain characteristics, which she gets around being in a good place with loving teachers and students that have the same values. And I don't have to write notes about Yom Kippur and stuff like that. But so when I converted, it was a little jaded. It was like, oh, okay, sure, I want to do this. Fine, I did it. But then I started going to Chabad, and that was, so I used to go to the Ashkenazi shul, and there's nothing against it. There's wonderful people and all. But Chabad was just all love and no judgment. So I went over and above. I did a lot more because I was not told to do it. And there's just love and, yeah. And so
seeing how your daughter is today, do you think you made the right decision?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
I think what we've seen, especially now where the school system's kind of like being broken up and AI is taking over and everything's kind of topsy-turvy, like you can become successful without having the best education. If you're charismatic, you have good values, you have good ideas, like it doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And do you have other children?
Yes, I have a boy in Israel right now. He's in yeshiva. Very serious kid, Noah. And then I have a boy at home, Ruben. He's at Eula. He's very different than the other two. But yeah.
Do you have an inspiring message for our listeners?
Yeah, I guess I would say it's like I'm always surprised how Jews leave and explore other religions like Hinduism and all that. And it's very strange to me. It's because Judaism is beautiful. There's so much depth in there, from the spiritual aspect, the mystical aspect, whatever you're looking for, the analytical, everything is there. So, like, open up a siddur, just look at how beautiful the prayers are, read it in English, try to attach meaning to it, emotions to it, attach it to your life, and you will build up a relationship with God. And you have an opportunity. You're Jewish. I mean, don't squander it.
That's amazing. I love that message. Thank you so much, Moshe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was great talking to you.
Amazing.